Hello and welcome back everyone, I'm Day-Glo Buffalo and this is Let's Play Whispers of a Machine Blind. When we last left off, we had our detective here, who I'm probably going to call Till a lot because she reminds me of Bess Till from Snowpiercer, the TV series, which I already mentioned last time, but I think her name is Vera? Anyway, we were in the dormitory by the bunk of the person that got murdered and whose murder we're trying to solve. And so now we, well, I think what was next for us was using our X-ray vision, as the other police officer had called it, on his sleeping corner on his bunk beds to see if we can find anything useful. Apparently not. Is there anything else anywhere? There's nothing to scan here. That is fairly disappointing. Let's look for some distinct clues. Nothing at all? No boot prints? Well, he left his boots in his locker outside. No boot prints on the ceiling? Oh. It's easiest just to scan the whole screen. Man, this is just riveting gameplay right here, isn't it? No, none of that. Oh, we finally found something. Found some DNA on the bed. I presume this is not actually on Vera. I was about to call her Till. Oh, there's some... matching data.
There are a lot of prints around a panel on the air duct.
Well, she said earlier, that was in the last video, that it was a weird place to have an air duct. So maybe it's not a real air duct. Okay, so there's some fingerprints on that drawer. DNA on the bed. Fingerprints on that, what is that, a satchel? All right. And that just takes us back to Smart Scan, so...
I already searched that. Both beds look recently used. I already searched that.
Okay, so even though we found some DNA on it, it's apparently not interesting, but...
The panel is screwed on tight. I'll need some way of getting it loose.
Like our... superhuman strength?
Sure, I could try to use brute force, but I'd risk damaging what's inside.
I see. Biometric analyzer is useless, but at least we got something in our conversation notebook, I guess. At least something we can ask the others about. Maybe they have a screwdriver or something.
Gabriel.
Yeah?
Hey, do you happen to know where I can get a screwdriver?
Not really. The foreman collected all the tools and locked them up after the murder.
Okay, that's all I need for now.
Very well, Agent.
Maybe we can tear that locker open as well. Oh, we can use the coin.
A few more questions, if I may? Hey, do you happen to know where I can get a screwdriver?
Well, okay, I have one. I'll need it back, though.
Sure, thanks. That's enough questions for now.
Okay.
It's funny that we can actually hear her erasing her notes. All right, back to the dormitory. So, let's use...
It's the screwdriver that...
Wait, how do we do this?
It's the screwdriver.
Oh, yeah, click and drag.
There was a small key hidden inside the duct. I think I'm almost done here. I should just talk to Gabriel before I go. I've looked there already.
Thought maybe you should close it. This was...
I already searched them.
Okay. Thought for a second maybe that had been locked, but yeah, it wasn't. I wasn't sure, so I was just checking. So, do we give it back to him?
Here's your screwdriver back. Thanks for lending it to me.
You're welcome. Happy to help.
Okay, so we went... Oh, wait. Okay. Empathetic is on top. Path of Baldur. Okay, assertive, path of Tyr, and analytical, path of Frigg. Well, we're some ways of the way along the friggin' path. So, we're supposed to talk to him before we go.
Hey, I think I'm done here.
Oh, okay. Mind sharing your findings?
It seems like the murder could be tied to a secret relationship Carl had with a woman. But I'm leaving all options open.
Sounds reasonable. Do you have a lead to follow up on?
Yes, I have reason to believe that Carl recently passed through an area with saffron plants somewhere in Nordsund. Maybe I can correlate that with Carl's movements to the north of town when seeing that woman.
Good. Meanwhile, we'll transport the body to the morgue and have an autopsy performed as soon as possible. Do you want us to keep the area sealed off?
No need. I'm done here and won't come back. You can let the men get back to work.
Very well. I'll let them know.
By the way, how do I get to the police station from here?
Just head straight east outside. You'll see it.
Got it. See you later.
Okay. He remains relaxed, so we can head out, I guess. So here we have an elevator, here we have a museum. Policeman, a worker. Some kind of sign, but hold on. Luckily we have this. So we can go west. Take the elevator. There's a wreck here, a worker, a policeman, or the museum, and a town square.
Looks like an old hovercraft.
Can we scan this place? Just to be on the safe side in case there's anything interesting, but it doesn't seem like it.
Hey, what's happening here?
Bit of an electrical problem with some fallen power lines. It's being taken care of, but it'll be a while.
So I can't enter the museum?
Well, you can, but only if electrocution is something you enjoy during working hours.
Electrocution, that's funny. When there also be incineration, I prefer my electrocutions to be followed by intense burning.
Will there also be incineration? I prefer my electrocutions to be followed by intense burning.
You'll be nice and crisp, all right. Jokes aside, come back tomorrow. By then, the museum should be available.
All right, thanks.
That whole incineration thing actually sounded like something Kathy Rain would say.
Hello, Deputy. What are you guarding?
The residence of the first murder victim. The commissary told me to direct you to his office before going upstairs.
I see. I'll go find him and come back later then.
Sounds good, Agent.
Everybody's awful relaxed. So, I guess we're heading to the police station first?
Alright, so this is the town square. That building with the emblem must be the police station.
Over here. Police station north, clinic, sculpture, school, town entrance, canteen, southwest and east.
Nice and shiny. I can even see my reflection in it.
Well, it was worth a shot. So, guess off to the police station we go.
I'm surprised the Bureau got their thumb out of their ass. It's not like they could find Nordson on a map.
I, for one, am grateful for their help. From what I hear, the person they sent is young, but quite capable.
Optimistic as always, eh, Kurt? I guess we'll see. Agent Anglin, we've been expecting you.
Councilwoman, I was told you'd be my bureau contact here.
That's correct. I'm Stina Ruth, and this here is Kurt Anderson, police commissary.
Welcome, Agent. Enjoy your trip to the middle of nowhere?
It was a bit bumpy, and way longer than I expected.
Yeah, that train has seen better days. You'll find your luggage in your quarters, just through the door behind me.
Thanks. I'll check it out later.
So, you were probably confused as hell when we sent you straight to a crime scene, right?
Kind of. I thought I was supposed to investigate a murder from last week.
You were, but unfortunately a second killing required your urgent attention. I assume there is some Bureau procedures before I brief Agent England about the situation?
Yes. Why don't you head to your office, and I'll send this youngling on her merry way when we're done.
Very well. It was a pleasure to meet you, Agent.
Likewise. I'm a bit confused here. Who do I report to?
Only to me, as overseer of this district. The local police are at your disposal, since they're legally required to aid you in the investigation.
Got it. How would you like me to share my findings with you?
Face-to-face, in the evenings. The balcony inside the local canteen is a good place to meet.
Okay. I think I have what I need then. I'll go talk to the commissary.
Good. We'll catch up later. Oh, but I have to ask. Tell me, how was it for you?
What do you mean?
Come on, you know what I'm talking about. We've both done it.
Oh, you mean the augmentation. The nanofluid injection.
Sticking to the boring scientific terms, aren't we? Back in my time, we used to just call it taking the blue. Come on, let this old lady live a little. Tell me, how was your first kiss with the blue?
Felt an amazing sense of belonging, like I was connected to everything and everyone around me. It was like a sudden rush, filling my limbs and body, followed by a sense of power and determination. A sense of enlightenment and acute awareness washed over me, a crystal clear lucidity I had never felt before. I don't know how to feel about, or, how she should feel about this, because I think I'm kind of lacking the context here. I mean, obviously, we're talking about her augmentations, but so far we've seen like that she's got augmented strength and she can kind of, get some biometric readings from people around her and like search for details and scan the areas. But so far we haven't seen really that much evidence of her being connected to everything and everyone around her, or, a sense of power and determination or anything like that. It feels like we're answering a question that, the information of that precedes the game and we haven't seen it. So I don't know. I guess I'll go with the sense of enlightenment and acute awareness.
A sense of enlightenment and acute awareness washed over me. A crystal clear lucidity I had never felt before.
I remember that moment like it was yesterday. What I wouldn't give to feel like that again. No side effects, I hope? We wouldn't want you to get compromised in dangerous situations.
Not yet, but I know what to look out for. Mild hallucinations, nightmares, burning sensations in the limbs, the occasional migraine. Things like that.
Yeah, that covers the usual suspects. All right, I think you're good to go then. We shouldn't keep the commissary waiting.
All right, so we got some exposition there at the end for, warning signs to look out for. Let's see, we have a cactus.
Low maintenance. My kind of plant. It's a map of Nordsund. Looks like the center of the disk is hollow. Curious. Nah, I have work to do.
Coffee maker or coffee thermos?
Damn good coffee.
Well, at least that. Usually, in these kinds of situations, it's always like, oh, the coffee's awful.
A thermos, presumably filled with coffee.
Well, if it's good coffee, maybe they're taking it home. There's quarters, doorway. Always good to be on the safe side. Maybe turn this on before we go talk to the commissary.
All right, Agent. Would you like me to brief you about the first murder?
Yes, please.
Maya Strand, 41 years old, the caretaker of the Nordsund Museum. She was found by the janitor on the floor near the exhibits early last Wednesday. Just like Carl, she was stabbed. No witnesses, no evidence. Killer practically a ghost. No signs of a forced entry, so either the entrance was open or she let him in herself.
What about her residence? Anything out of the ordinary in there?
Nothing, as far as we could tell. But we left the place as we found it if you want to have a look. She lived upstairs from the museum.
Noted. The crime scene is no longer intact, though, correct?
Afraid so. The museum is important to Nordsund, so we had the place cleaned out pretty quickly.
Alright, but now that I'm here, I'm assume that you'll check with me before clearing out any of the crime scenes. Sorry to hear that. I guess bureaucrats are messing up police work isn't just a city problem, huh? Exactly what kind of power does Town Hall have over the Nordsund police?
Exactly what kind of power does Town Hall have over the Nordsund police?
Well, there's the elected mayor, Marianne Holst, and the town council with 5 members. Technically, they can't interfere with our work, but they do allocate resources to the police department, so I try to appease them where I can.
So they can't fire you if they disagree with your methods?
No, I'm independently elected, but they certainly have ways of making my life a living hell if they really want to.
Got it. Thanks for the info. One more thing. I'd like to see Maya's body, if that's possible.
Of course. We brought it out of the freezer this morning. You'll find it in the morgue, over at the clinic. Dr. Persson, our physician, is awaiting your arrival.
Good. I'll head there when we're done.
So I guess... Well, let's go through the options, the dialogue options.
What do you know about the murder in the locker room over at the workshop hall?
Not much. As you know, the murder happened shortly before you arrived, so I'm leaving the matter in your capable hands.
Do you know if saffron is grown anywhere in Nordsund?
I think so, yes. There should be someone in town with more information.
Someone in town? Well, that's narrowing it down, really.
Did you know Carl Oscarson?
I wouldn't say so. He and my son were playmates as children, but they grew apart in their teens. Haven't talked to Carl myself for many years.
What do you think of Gabriel?
My nephew is a fine officer. He's a law and order kind of person. Stern, but fair.
Oh, law enforcement runs in the family.
I wish, but so far Gabriel and I are the only ones. I've been trying to get my son to join the force for years. All he cares about is girls and fishing. Suppose it could be worse. At least he brings home a fresh trout every now and then.
I'm looking for a young woman connected to the second victim, Carl.
All right. What do you know about her?
All I have is a picture of her that I found on Carl, but it's damaged and her face can't be clearly seen.
Tricky. If you had any kind of personal information, like an address, you could look her up in our records. They're in the drawers behind me.
Noted. I'll get back to you about this if I learn more.
The records are in the drawers, so they're not stored electronically.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Me? Oh, I've been doing this job for 15 years now. I took over when the previous commissary died. I'm married with 3 children. Anita, my youngest, is off studying science in the city now. We're counting the days to Christmas when she comes back to visit.
Can we actually? Yeah. Because it got turned off when we changed rooms, but... oh well.
What's your opinion on Stina Ruth?
I respect her. She's a competent politician. She gets things done, unlike some of the other people on the council. Sure, she has a temper, and she's not the most tactful person, but she calls out bullshit when she sees it. When I'm right, she has my back, and when I'm wrong, well, she won't let me revel in my sweet ignorance for long.
Did you know Maya Strand?
Not at all. Museums aren't my cup of tea. I prefer to not dwell on the past.
That's an interesting way to see museums. Anyway.
No reason to show him my sidearm. No, that's private. I won't show that to just anyone. Do you know who the woman in this picture is?
No idea, sorry.
What do you make of this?
Not sure. But if you need to know when somebody came to town, I'd suggest looking in the citizens' records behind me.
Right. I might do that if I can figure out who wrote this note. Any idea of what this opens?
Nope, not a clue.
All right. So much for these conversation options.
That's all I needed.
Very well.
So apparently there was a second murder. Oh, I thought that was a window to the outside, but it's a greenhouse instead.
A collection of what seems to be both fiction and books on law and social sciences. If that's all Anderson's, he's quite well read.
Interesting that he keeps them in his office.
The window offers a view over a street that connects to the town square. Just lots of case files. Looks like a logbook. Maybe Anderson records his daily work there. The drawer is labeled Address Records. These should come in handy. I'll be able to match a name to an address, or vice versa. Let's have a look. As expected, nothing new.
Might as well go through the lot.
I don't think I need to look him up. Not a bad idea, but I'll need a name first. I don't think I need to look him up.
We could have looked up, we could have stalked the commissary.
I don't think I need to look her up.
Or the councilwoman.
Yeah, this just confirms what Anderson told me.
All right.
A small local greenhouse. A typical site in Nordson, it seems. I guess Anderson has a colleague.
Okay, so he shares the office. Thought it was kind of big. Okay.
There's a bottle of molding resin here. Might be useful. A bottle of molding resin. I can use this to cast different shapes. It might also work as a glue.
That might actually indeed be useful.
Looks purely decorative. Doesn't appear to be functional. There's not even a switch or anything.
It's interesting to have an elevator in your room.
Nice big lemon. Small miracle to see it grow to that size under these conditions. No, I'm not tired. Maybe later. I'm not that hungry.
All right, so there's nothing of interest here. So I guess now we have to check out...
Sounds like a class is in progress.
But what happens if you do it anyway?
Then policemen or women will come and arrest you.
Ooh, harsh.
It's the law. We mustn't make things that can think for themselves.
But my parents created me, and I can think for myself. Did they break the law?
You make a good point, Alicia, but that's quite different.
Different how? I don't get why it's more dangerous to create a thinking machine than a thinking person.
You think too much, Allie.
No, that's good. You should always ask questions like these.
Okay, so apparently they have some hang-ups about AI.
All right, Maya's place. Let's see if I can find any clues in here. Some old pre-collapse gadgets, probably for the museum.
Telephone? Was that a stereo? Walkie-talkie, maybe? Not sure what that is.
Some kind of airtight container. It's labeled nutrients.
For the plants? For herself? For the mushrooms?
Looks like a hard and uncomfortable chair. Wouldn't risk falling asleep on the job in that one. It's a sketch of a museum exhibition of some kind. It's titled Path of the Pilgrim. Doesn't appear to have power. Just as well. I wouldn't know how to make heads or tails of it anyway. I have no clue what this thing does, but it looks like it could have something to do with processing samples.
Samples of what?
A trophy in the shape of a robotic arm with a plaque. Winner of the 2041 Annual Nordstrom Awards, Sebastian Strand. An old relative of Maya's. Looks like various plant samples. Not sure what kind of plants those are. Maybe medicinal? Doesn't look like vegetables anyway. This crude bed looks regularly used. Nice collection of mushrooms. Looks like the edible kind.
All right, time to scan. And again, it looks like we're not finding anything of any interest. I would have expected that in this person's living space, we could at least find some kind of, you know, traces of DNA, maybe. Or maybe we have to go see the body first and get, like, the fingerprints or something on record, and then maybe we can find them in here. Yeah, that might actually make sense. But I think we will do that in the next part. So for now, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like or a comment below. Subscribe to stay up to date, and I will see you in the next part. So until then, have a good one.